Steve and I have done almost 10 trips together now. We've been to the Holy Land, we've been to Torino, all over Italy, we have been, all over Italy. That's really all I care about is all over Italy, so I might as well just say it. But I think this is a very unique trip for me because you can say that this particular pilgrimage helped take Catholic Connection on the road. Because you were the first to be gracious enough to allow me to leave you in the afternoon for 2 to 3 hours to do the show, and it worked beautifully, and we've launched it, and now we'll be taking Catholic Connection on the road every time I do a pilgrimage with Steve or with Priests for Life or with whomever. And so thank you for your graciousness in allowing me to leave, because normally I'm on the bus with you every day, giving talks and mingling a little bit more. So I really appreciate your understanding and your appreciation, but you allowed me to do that with this new equipment to do the show, and I will be talking an awful lot about you this week on the radio, so I hope you tune in. So thank you, and I hope that you have learned to love my home away from home, Italy, which is my desire, really. I know this sounds rather odd, but even though I haven't learned how to speak the language officially yet, I can get by. But I really have a heart for the Italian people, along with Liz and Elena and Luca.
I want to add my word of thanks to Steve and Janet, to John Hale and Corporate Travel, to the guides and the escorts, to Teresa and Janet, and everybody who made this possible. It has been a marvelous experience.
Some people were asking me if the Day of Life was planned to coincide with Father's Day. Not really, because it was planned for the whole world, but happy Father's Day to all the fathers.
Bravo!
A few closing remarks. First of all, there are a few of those prayer booklets left over, and some of you have asked for them. I have a few more on the bus. Gladly give them to those who want to take them, but by all means, ask for as many of those as you want moving forward, and there are more of the forms that...
If we do this, will the pro-life movement respond? Today, when I saw him right after the Mass, and as well as some of his team, I said, so, was it a success? And they said to me, Father Frank, you have to answer that question for us. All we did was put this together. Brothers and sisters, we told the Archbishop from the beginning this would be a resounding success, for the same reason that the ministry we do at Priests for Life is a success. People, you, we, all of us in the church want to see the church speak unequivocally, perseveringly, and uncompromisingly about the value of life. Period. And the church wanted to do that today, this weekend, in a clear signal to the whole world. Yes, it was a success. You made it a success. All the others there in St. Peter's Square last night and today made it a success, and that's what I want to thank you for doing. We did all this together. But they were saying something else to me today when they said, Father, you have to tell us if it was a success. What they were saying was this: it will be a success to the extent that we go home and we set our parishes and our dioceses and our organizations and our families on fire for the defense of life.
To collaborate with amazing people, Janet, Father Pavone, Janet and Steve, Teresa Tomeo for all these years, is such a tremendous privilege. But to collaborate with all of you to build God's kingdom is really humbling. And I'm under no illusions of our importance or what we do. What we do is bring great people together. And that's the gift God has given us, is to see the fruit of serving amazing people and putting them with great people like Dr. Lev, Father, Teresa, Steve, and Janet. And then we just watch. We watch lives be transformed. We hear about them every day, every week. And that we have any small part of it is beyond what we deserve, but we're certainly grateful for it. And I just add, Teresa is like a sister. She and Steve, you go through a lot of ups and downs, as Steve said, with travel, and it's difficult, and you test people's mettle, and the way that they have always responded and supported and worked tirelessly for every person on every trip has been a witness to me. It transforms us, it transforms our staff and our team, and I'm just very grateful to Janet, Steve, Teresa, Father Pavone, Janet Morana. It's people like them and all of you who inspire us, so I'm very grateful, and I'm humbled to be here with you tonight. God bless, know of our prayers. We always say a rosary as a company for every pilgrimage group that travels. We say it for your safety, we say it for your enjoyment, we say it for us not screwing up on anything. But above all, we pray that God will transform your life in the way that He intends on this pilgrimage. And when you're on pilgrimage, you're away from your routine, you're away from your comforts, you're outside of your box, and that's when God works, isn't it? It really is. And so while you're here, I pray that you'll be able to unpack not just your luggage, but the fruit of this week and your personal experience, your family experience, and I pray that we have the opportunity to serve you again, and we thank you all, and God bless. Safe
By
travels.
leaving the Catholic Church, and then when I was a teenager, and then returning years later, and the things that I learned in my journey, and how they tie into what we did this week, and this day, honoring and celebrating Evangelium Vitae. 6 years ago, I went to confession for the first time in 30 years. When I tell you my penance, you're going to probably have the same reaction my wife said. That's it? I'm a professor at Baylor University in Waco, Texas. And
Yay, Texas!
there you go. Sick 'em Bears. And so I went to a small church called St. Jerome's to go to confession. I had been at that time I was president of the Evangelical Theological Society. And as Steve told you, it's the largest group of evangelical theologians, not only in the United States but the world. I had arrived at the end of a journey that had lasted since my teenage years, and I was at confession that day because my wife and I had decided to, in my case, return to the church. For my wife, it was to become Catholic. And we had made this decision in the middle of my presidency, and so we didn't know quite what to do. Our Catholic friend said, "You should resign your presidency, and because it would cause scandal if this leaked out that you were planning to become Catholic after it ended." Our Protestant friend said, "Just keep it quiet. Just wait for and quietly return to the church." So we prayed about it, and we asked the Lord to give us some kind of direction. Well, we were sitting in a cafe, it was a restaurant in Washington, D.C., the day of my cousin's wedding. We were there to participate in his wedding, and my cell phone rang. It was my...
Thanks for coming with us. Hope you had a great time.
Oh, yes.
And we sure did. We sure had a good time with all of you. You're classy folks. This was a good group. Wonderful people. And thank you for trusting us. I always say to Janet, it's always a fearsome thing when people put their lives and their money in our hands for this period of time. And when it's done and it worked, I always go, thank you again, Lord. You know, we've never had problems, but it's always gone smooth. But it's still always nice when it's over and everything went well. And it was great having you with us. I just hate seeing all of our sheep leaving, you know. So, but I'll let you hear it one more time. Let me get it. All right. Bye, everyone. God bless you.
Bye, boss.
The bus doors go closed, and everybody's on the bus ready to go when we're saying goodbye. It's always sad the last day when everybody leaves. It's always sad. Now it goes this way. There goes the last bus. Waving goodbye to everybody. Off to the airport.